G'day guys, how are we going? Well, water storage in your 4-drive. We all need it when we go out there camping, but how do you carry it? Well, I'm going to show you the new water jerry can that I've got in the back of my 4-drive here and how I made it. Let's check it out. Righto, here it is in here. So this is the second water jerry can setup that I've made. Still works on the same principle as the first one that I had. Just gravity feed, so no power required to make it work. Very simple setup. But this time here, now I've got it in the back in here, just inside the back door, so very easy to get to. You know, I'm out there on the tracks or, you know, around camp. If I need any water for whatever I need it for, very easy to get to. Whereas before, the jerry can setup was right in the back in there, so it opened both the barn doors and that sort of thing. So just a bit more awkward to get to, but now, very easy to get to. So I'll get the jerry can out, we'll have a close look at it, and I'll show you exactly how I made it, because this is a really good setup, I like it. Let's go and have a look. Okay, so this is my jerry can setup. But this time around, I've gone food grade everything. So food grade in the jerry can and also food grade in the hose. Just a lot safer way for drinking your water. Less chance of getting contaminants and that sort of thing when you're out there in the camping. But whereas this is my old jerry can setup, and as you can see, you know, it's a bit sort of gummed up, and same sort of setup. I just had a hose that was running in through the top in there, just with some silicone around it, and it just kept leaking, and yeah, it just didn't seal up really well at all. So I've got rid of that setup, and this is a setup that I saw that a mate uses in his 4-drive, and I just really liked his setup, and especially that food grade option that he's used. So I've gone with the same setup. So I've got 2 jerry cans here, but I generally only use the one. One's plenty for most of the tour I'm doing, but if I'm going to do some longer stuff like remote places, if I'm going to head up through Central Australia or somewhere like that, which will happen down the track, well then I'd take this second jerry can with me. So I'd fill the 2 of them up, have 40 litres of water with me, and then when this one empties out, I've just got to unscrew that cap, put it on top of there, and then I'll go again with a full 20 litres of water. But the fittings that I've got here now, these are just your normal garden hose tap fittings that plug on the end of your garden hose. And then how do I fill it up? Well, I just take the whole jerry can setup like this, just pick it up, take it over to my garden tap. I take that nozzle out, and then that just clicks onto my garden tap at home. Open the tap there, turn that tap around there so it opens all the line up, turn the garden tap on, and away it goes, fills up. So then when you're filling up, you also just got to make sure that the bung is off this top breather pipe here, because as it's filling up inside with water, air's trying to get out of it. So you got to make sure that's out so the air can get out, because if you've got that cap blocked off there, well, your tank's going to start to swell while it's filling up. So just make sure that's open. You'll hear the air busting out of there while you're filling up. And then the other option I could do if I really wanted to, wouldn't even have to, you know, take my jerry can out of my patrol. I could leave it in the back there, just drag my garden hose out, plug the hose into there, turn it on there, go and turn the garden tap on, and away to go, and it could fill it up without even have to get it out. But I just like that idea. I take that nozzle out of there and plug it on my tap at home, and away I go. And then that just gives it, you know, a good little nozzle there for using it. So when the water comes out a nice little nozzle there. You know, I've seen some setups where they're either using, you know, a bung like this, which comes with the jerry can, you get these with it, and they're putting them in, you know, just in the bottom there, you pull that bung out there and you put it in there, or they're getting, you know, similar sort of setup fittings with a hose and just the gravity fed, but they're putting it also in that bottom bung. Now, for me, I don't really like that idea, because, you know, when you're traveling down some rocky tracks or rough tracks, whatever, and if your connection down here gets knocked or bumped and starts leaking, well, if it comes off, well, you're going to empty your jerry can in 2 seconds flat, and that's the last thing you want, in my view. So I like the idea of having it out through the top here, and it just works really well, and it's a lot safer, and I know my water's not going to get lost coming out through that bottom bung. So I'll show you the fittings inside what I've got here. So I've gone with, you know, some really good solid fittings now. So I'll just take that hose out right out of there. Just put that there one side. Now I've gone with brass fittings now, so really good solid setup, just with a hose clamp there, holding that hose clamp onto that. So that's an elbow brass fitting there, and very much underneath there, you'll be able to see it, but I've got a brass washer also underneath there, just to help to bite the 2 fittings together. And then underneath, there's another brass fitting underneath in there, with just a 16mm hole that I've drilled through the cap. Another brass fitting in there with that hose just sits on there, and it doesn't need a clamp. It sits on there, no worries at all. So that's the whole setup there. It's all brass fittings. I do sometimes use this little pipe here as a breather as well, but I generally don't sort of need it. I just keep using this one in the back here as a breather for, you know, when I fill the tank up and to make sure it operates. So it works really well. So that's the setup there. And then to get it going, and with this bend, you know, this short hose here, I've made sure the bend of that lines up with the top of the hose here, which is pretty important. So when that goes back in there, like so, then I turn that cap. The hose inside isn't turning. It's only the cap's turning. So I know that when that goes down in there, that bend in that hose is lining up with the pipe here, and I know that it's all the way right down to the bottom there. Pretty keen to see what everyone else is using, but I really like this. Simple, no worries, works an absolute treat. So there you go guys, thanks so much for watching, and catch you on the next one. See you later. Very.